Okay, alright. Hello everyone, I'm Nicodemus Kane. This video is going to be pretty different from the things that I've been doing lately. I kind of said in one of my last videos that I was going to make this one where I was going to do some information on an object I have in my collection as of right now. Um, Not so much to show off, not so much to brag about it, but just for general information because I am all about finding out the truth of things. And if someone happens to own something or knows of something, and if there's no other information out anywhere that you can find, I would rather that information be out there. For all the people that watch my videos that know that I do readings of the Bible and different things like that, this one's not for you. I I've said that before. This one's not for you. This is just, like I said, general information. I do not have any problem talking about this, just simply because, I came from a collector standpoint. I still have stuff. I am purging a lot of stuff. That's why I'm talking about this thing, because this is leaving my collection today, I think. And I figured, why not? Because there's no information on this. So, what exactly am I talking about? Well, it's this guy right here. Some people might know what he is. Some people might not know what he is. So there was a movie back in, let's see, I gotta look it up. What was it, 89? Is that when they said it was? I think that's what they said it was, 1989. Puppet Master. Anybody remember that one? Let me see if I can, surely it was 89. I'm looking, I'm sorry. And it's sad because yes, 1989. Holy smokes. I first saw the movie when I was a kid because I used to be in horror films. We used to go to the local video store, and they used to have the Super Nintendo and Nintendo games on the direct opposite aisle of the horror movies. I don't know why. Don't ask me why, but they did that. So my mom, in all of her infinite wisdom, because I was a latchkey kid, she used to get me a Nintendo game and a horror movie. So I got introduced to a lot of really crazy stuff back in the day. But I remember Puppet Master. I liked Puppet Master. It was a really, really cool movie. And this guy came into our lives 6, 7 years ago. So that would have been, oh, wow. Oh, come on now. I can't do the 2015. we were we were living closer into Indianapolis, so 2015, give or take. Um, where my wife traded a vest to a guy. She made a custom vest for this guy for a music festival, and he traded her this. And she brought it back to me. I was sick at the time, and actually, it's really close to. No, it's not. I'm thinking about something else. Never mind. I was sick at the time, and she came in. She sat this thing down beside me, and woke me up and said, "Look what I got for you, honey." And she gave this thing to me, and I said, "No way. This is a 1-to-1 scale replica. This is the Jester from the movie. This a lot of interesting things about this. That's why I wanted to make this video, because this is a one of a kind thing. This is not like some, you can go out to the store and buy it kind of thing. This is a one of a kind. You can't. There's no way you could find this bad boy. Um, but this is what they called, and I pulled the website up. Let me pull it up here for myself so that I can read it. This is called a battle damaged puppet. These were replicas based on the four main puppets. You had the Jester, the Tunneler, the Pinhead, and Blade, if anybody knows the movies. Each wore different colored outfits that was ripped and torn to show that they had been through a battle. And you can see it on this guy right here. He's got this little slit, and I never understood why. I just kind of figured at the time that we got him that, maybe it's just he's supposed to look that way, or maybe he got ripped. I don't know. I didn't really say anything. I know he's glued there, so I was like, well, maybe somebody tried to fix him. I don't know. But these things were limited to 200 pieces. These were produced in a factory in China. That's what it says. So I don't know. So I kind of knew that it was limited to 200 pieces because, sorry, I had to pull something out of my eye. Right there, you can see this is number 13 of 200. Now, it blew my mind. She brought this to me, and I said, 13? You got to be kidding me. That's, I mean, you want to talk about any kind of number that you could hit within, 1 to 200. That's it right there. So she brought it, and I said, it's absolutely incredible. That's absolutely amazing thing. Not only that, every one of these came with a certificate of authenticity. You can see here, and I think this one's even... Yeah, it says Studio Replica Series Certificate of Authenticity. Charles Bands, who's the guy that actually made the puppets, made the movie. Charles Bands Puppet Masters 1-to-1 scale puppet replica. This certificate hereby guarantees that the puppet replica that you have purchased of the battle damaged Jester is one of a limited run of 200. And it is even signed right there by Charles Band. And not only that, there's a story behind it, because everything has a story. Every toy, every collectible, which is what I say. Whenever I talk about my collection, again, that I'm slowly purging, I say that everything has a story to it. It's just because I bought something at a Walmart, it's still got a story. I went out and I was looking and I found this and I thought it was amazing. But this bad boy's got a story too. So I had to ask her this morning while she was still kind of half asleep. So she said that the original owner was a good friend of hers that she met back in, what did she say, 2005, 2007, somewhere around there. And he had gone to a local theater. I don't remember what exactly it was for. It wasn't really like a sci-fi thing or a horror thing. It was just like a convention or something. And he had a booth, because that's what my wife used to do too. She used to make stuff, and she used to have booths, and she used to go out to places and all of that. And he happened to look over, and Charles Band, the guy that made the movie, he happened to have a booth set up. And he was like, oh, Puppet Master. I know Puppet Master. He went over there. I guess he talked to him, this whole thing. And Charles Band happened to have this guy right here sitting with him. And the previous owner bought it. I guess it was just one that he just happened to have. It never, from what she said, it was one of those that, like, he never had a box. He never came with a stand, because the original ones came with a nice tall box, and they came with like a little white stand that you could stand them up, and the certificate and everything else. But this guy supposedly was never in a box. I know, right? That's crazy. So, and it's probably because of the number. It's number 13 of 200. It's crazy, right? So, but this was one that he happened to have left over, and the owner went ahead and bought him and had him sign it. So there's two different places where he signed it, because from the story I hear, was that in case one place rubbed off, then you'd still have the other autograph. So of course you have the one on the bottom, which is that one right there. Come on now, there you go. There's one there, and then there was one here too, on the back of his head. Again, one of a kind. So I was like, you've got to be kidding me with this. I mean, this is insane. So we we got it once I got once I got over my cold, because I think it was a pretty nasty cold that year. I looked it up. I couldn't find any information on them at all. A couple of them have been sold on eBay, but there weren't any actual prices. There was some older eBay things that you can find that were like 125, 130. Some of them sold for 200, 300. But then you start getting closer to nowadays, and they're selling for like 300, 400, 500, $600, and it's like, whoa, wait a minute. So I said, this is a thing. This isn't like, just something that you randomly trade to somebody else for making them a vest. This is some legit stuff. I said, I don't even know if I want to take this. I said, I did, of course, because, but I think we even said at the time, it was like, this thing just seems so priceless that I don't, if the guy wants it back, we could talk. But I think it's what I was kind of thinking at the time, is the man maybe just had no money, and he was just giving her something, until he gave her money. But we held on to it for 6 years. It sat on my mantle for 6 years, and we didn't do anything with it. He just sat there, and collected dust. That's all it did, was sit there and collect dust. And again, I'm not such a fan of the movies that I would ever go out and buy one of these things. I would love to have, well, even now, I don't know if I'd want to have them, but I would have loved to have had like the ones they did, like the 7-inch versions. Those would have been cool. I would have hung those up on the wall. But again, it's not. They're not so important that I would have cared. I really wouldn't have cared. So this guy we just kind of had sitting up there, and he just kind of lived with us, and I never really gave it a second thought. He kind of sat in the background. Um, he said he originally paid, he thought he paid like 125 for it. So we just recently went looking, and I just was able to find on the Puppet Master wiki about the replicas. That's how I found this information for this. There's very little videos. There's like one video of a guy that's showing off his collection. There's pictures, but there's no real information. Most of them lead to eBay auctions that have ended. There was a couple other things about some collector stuff, but it's just, they just lead to pictures, or they say, yes, such and such has. The one says that Full Moon has one in their collection. It's like a collector's, it's like, okay, that's great, but there's no information here. So I kept digging and kept digging and kept digging, and I found out that one of these things sold 2015, 2016, I think it was. One of these bad boys sold. Let me see if I can actually find that on the... Go back. Come on, keep going back. One more. See if I can find that on eBay again, because one of them actually sold. No. One of them actually sold back probably, I want to say 2016. It was just a random little, I'm on eBay. Let's do, here, let's do this. Puppets Master. Battle damage, Jester. And let's search by sold. Sold items right there. Okay. I know you're looking at my face while I'm doing this. I'm not going to pull it up. So, sold items, battle damaged. Nothing. These are the newer ones. Did I even put in Jester on that? Puppet Master battle damage Jester has no results. That tells you something, man. It really tells you something. But there were a couple of them that sold. There were a couple of them that did sell that maybe I should put something else in. Battle damage Jester. Replica. There were a couple that we saw that were $400. $400. I'm not going to go through the whole thing. It's $400. There were some that were $300, but the one that I found was from another website that was just it was doing the listing itself and then showing what they sold it for. $835 with $820 something dollars with $135 shipping. That's $1,000. And we were just like, that is a chunk of change. that is an actual piece right there. Is what it is. This isn't just some random thing. This is an actual deal. And I started thinking about it. I was like, with the signatures and the number and just what it is, the rarity of this thing, the fact that you can't find any information about this whatsoever. It's just one of those things, It's just one of those things that you just have to stop and look at and just kind of be impressed about, I'm not so attached to worldly things anymore. I'm really not. But this, I just wanted to give information out on this because this is, for starters, we are actually giving this guy back. The original owner got a hold of my wife, and asked her if we still had it. If we would be willing to trade him back to it because he just wants it back. And I was like, okay. We thought about it for a while. We actually, we discussed it, going through the price points and going through all the stuff, and because this is all retirement is what this is. Everything you see back here, if we ever get to sell it, it's going to be our retirement. It's the stuff that's going to help us get through the later stages of life, so we're not so attached to it right this second. I mean, we're attached to it right this second, but later on we're not going to worry about it. But he asked for it back, and I just kind of thought about it, and I said, as a collector myself, as someone who knows what these things mean to me, as someone who owns one of a kind things, you can see my Doughboy in the back right there. That's a one of a kinder right there. There's only like 3 sets of those that exist as far as I know in the world. That's mine. But when it comes to stuff like this, I said, if it's going to make him happy, whatever he does with it, whether he keeps it, for himself and his collection, if he decides to sell it, because that was something that we thought too, maybe he found out what these things are worth and he just wants it back. I said either way, if it makes him happy, let him have it. It's not doing anything for me. It really isn't. I had fun with it, and it's a great little collectible, but it's just a thing. It's really just a thing, and we should not be held down by these material possessions. We really shouldn't, and that's again why I am purging. Not everything, but there's some things that I'm handing off to people that I think if they can get better enjoyment out of it than I can, then go for it. Because it is what it is. You don't need to store up all this crap. You really don't. But I wanted to make that. I wanted to, this is, again, you can get a good look at him. His face is a little wonky, which makes me think that it was handmade. Yeah, because his face is just a little weird. Yeah, but you can see the battle damage, and he's got his little belt going on here. I don't remember the history of it, because there was, what was it, Puppet Master 4 or Puppet Master 5? They started talking about where they were made they were made in Nazi Germany, and it's like the puppets inherited the soul of the Puppet Master or whatever it is, and they came to life, and then they got locked away in a box or something and taken to some strange hotel in California, and that's where the first movie started. I don't remember what it was. They've made so many of these movies now. I don't think I've seen all of them. I loved them though. When I was a kid, I thought they were really cool. Nowadays, I haven't watched them in like 20 years, so I can't tell you what's going on with the Puppet Master series now. This never sat down right. I know it needs to. There's got to be a way to do it, but this never sat down right. But it's like I said, I just put it on a shelf, and it was just something to have. Again, there's his face. It's really nice. I mean, just really, really beautifully made. He's got wire inside. He can actually pose a little bit. It's kind of cool. Got his hands, his arms. You see all that. I just wanted to do that though. I just wanted to talk about this. I always wanted to. It's kind of like rubber. It's like some kind of weird silicone rubber or something on his arms. It's just weird, but his feet. I don't know if you can. His feet and his hands are like some kind of ceramic, I guess. But I've always wanted to, talk about my collection, but that was, way before I was led to. I don't know. There's a piece of string caught in one of these damn little bells. That was way before I started being pulled to talk about the Bible stuff and talk about all the other stuff. So, back whenever I used to do the video game commentaries, things like that. So yeah, there you go. It's like $1,000 piece, maybe even more. But it all depends on the collector, pretty much. That's it. That's all I really had to say, though. That's just one of those things that you kind of pick up out in the world, and then you kind of look back on it, and it's like I said, the guy wanted it back, and I have no problem giving it back. He can have it. This is. They're talking about trading something else, and I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. She needs to get paid for what she did for him, and she said, what she did for him was probably a good $1,500. So that'll be fine. We're not going to charge him. I told her just give it back to him. I said by now, it doesn't really matter. But at the same time, she should get paid for what she did for him. So I don't know. But yeah, that was just something to have. We're getting rid of this though. It's leaving the house. So, and I'm not worried about it. He's just a thing. But there you go. That's all I got. I didn't know how to approach it. I really didn't. I actually, when I started talking about other stuff, doing videos about other stuff, showing off and things like that, I thought about scripting stuff, and I'm like, I can't do scripts. Scripts seem stupid. I'd rather just sit there and talk. Talk about it and show it off and just be like, hey, this is a thing. Have you seen this? And especially those one of a kind doohickeys, because it's just like, hey, this is a thing. No one else in the world has ever seen this. And this bad boy, no one else in the world has ever seen this. There's 4 people now. Well, no, because I've shown it off to some other people. Like 6 people now in real life that have actually seen this. Not to mention the people in China in the factories. But yeah, it's there you go. So thank you guys for watching. I'm not expecting this to take off because I don't think that many people look out for Puppet Master stuff anymore. Yeah, it's kind of faded away. Again, this is only for people that want to know. Yeah, and it's like it's out there. No, it's not for sale. No, I'm not going to give you this guy's name. No, I'm not going to do any of that other stuff. No, none of this other stuff that you see behind me is for sale right now. This was just information. That's all it was. Just pure information. I wanted for personally for myself, I wanted to get this out because it seemed like something I had to say. So there you go. So thank you for coming around. I will I will be talking to everybody again later. For anyone that does, for anyone that's new, that does not so much Bible study, but likes to, you know, understands the Word of God and likes to talk about things like that. I do Psalm readings right now every Monday through Friday, where I will read Psalms. We will talk about it. We will talk about current events. For any people that like to know the truth, I'm a truther, so I do truth videos. This is part of the video that's going to shy away all the normies, whatever, if they haven't already. But if you want to watch those, you can watch those. I'm not going to tell anybody to like and subscribe or anything because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at this point. But yeah, if you are so inclined to watch those, come back around, check those out. That's really all I've got. I don't really have anything else. I might do more of these. Yeah, I might not. I don't know. You gotta. Not that I'm worried about leaving behind a legacy anymore. You know, not that I'm worried about leaving behind stuff that people are going to see later on down the line. But at the same time, I still say, it's nice to have that information out there. If somebody wants to find it, it's out there. So this will probably be one of the few videos that I've made in the past 4 years that doesn't violate some kind of YouTube community standard. So, anyways, thank you guys for listening to me ramble on. God bless everyone, and there you go. Jester. Little bells. He's got the little bells. They jingle. So all right. That's the story, and I'm sticking to it. You guys take it easy.